Hello everybody, and of course welcome to the ESPL Weekly Series number 7. We are into game number 2 of this semi-finals between Elysium Complex Gaming and S.Finals. And for anybody wondering, that is my very squeaky chair. But along with me for the ride, beyond the chair itself, is of course my co-caster, Mito, and I'm Briefcase, forgot to mention that, but Mito's with me too.
I actually believe these two teams should be fairly evenly matched. Assuming that EGC picks up a better lineup. Last game it was fairly clear. It was more of a outdraft in the sense that there's such a narrow window of opportunity for ECG to take the game, and the lineup they had just couldn't force the issue. Couldn't go on the high ground no matter what. But hopefully this game we'll see something great coming out of them. Something maybe to shock the world. A very unique kind of draft.
Right? Fingers crossed.
Or at least something very powerful. They need something powerful to take on the TCN lineup.
Well, obviously, AA is not going to be a part of it this time around. Looks like S.Finals not ever willing to give up that AA as a first pick, realizing just how strong he is. And I'm just so happy to see AA making an appearance. I know he's been around for a little bit now. Couple weeks, few weeks or so in the pro scene and what have you, but like he is just one of those supports that he got zero play and now he's kind of surged ahead. It just goes to show you at least how balanced it really feels that Dota is right now. So many heroes in the pool and all of them feeling quite viable in their own way. It's such a good time to play Dota, folks. If you happen to be new to Dota 2 and you didn't play old Dota, or even just Dota 2 back in the day a little bit, like a couple years ago, you basically saw the same heroes every single game, so feel really happy that you're playing in this time.
Yeah, I want to see some slam dunking X. That hero, man, it's ridiculous during the early game phase. As long as you play it correctly, it just destroys everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I've been loving to see Axe played almost as a reactionary role, where you're not the one who goes in and initiates with a blink dagger. You obviously can still do that, but you kind of wait for people to go in, get their like big RPs off or what have yous, and then you come in and just clean up with the dunks. And of course, as soon as you get one big dunk, the rest of your team basically almost has a haste rune, is how fast it makes everybody, and it's just ridiculous.
Yep. Well, this time, at least I'm gonna start with some great pushing and counter pushing hero, Venomancer. Don't know if it's a bait pick or like kind of saying, hey, we're not gonna. Maybe for the first two pick, they might go for something like Venomancer and Furion, and then bait S.Finals into thinking, hey, we don't have any stunners, and then grab like massive initiators to follow up. And actually, coming to think of it, Venomancer plus Furion is not a bad oh my god. Oh my god. This is the hero that I've been discussing with my friends that we feel there's absolutely no counter to. The Lycanthrope. This hero is just disgustingly good. Assuming two teams are evenly matched, right? It just feels like if one team gets a Lycan, to me, this is like, it kind of spells like game over. Don't know how you can do it.
Yeah, he's just one of those heroes where, I mean, he's obviously not back to his old heyday where it was just, people played him and he was basically the Earth Spirit of his time for a while there, where it's like, how do you counter him? And you go, you ward his jungle. And that's all people could say. And obviously that didn't always work and almost never did. And he's not nearly that strong right now, but he's definitely a force to be reckoned with and just provides so much pushing power in and of himself. He's just like a one-man army. It's kind of ridiculous in that way. Elysium Complex Gaming going straight for the supports, where S.Finals going right for their, I don't want to say carries, but at least their mains. And I like this Batrider pickup by S.Finals as well. I mean, it should be doing fine. Gonna get slowed, but of course the Vengeful Spirit now, just to make sure that Batrider doesn't have too good a time, can really counter him very nicely with that swap. Of course, goes through BKB as well, and it just stops Batrider outright almost every single time. But Vengeful Spirit, that's not one of those heroes that can deal with wolves very well, so I don't know. Hard to say, I think.
Vengeful Spirit, the good thing is it does provide a little bit of minus armor, but that being said, Lycan is a hero that just piles on armor You're gonna get items like Medallion, that's already +6, and then you're gonna get Vlad's another +5, that's already +11, and you're most likely gonna be getting a Sokurias. By the time you have a Sokurias, your armor is already above 30, and the minus armor from Vengeful Spirit, I don't see it being that useful. But I can understand why the Vengeful Spirit was picked up. It's not to really, it's not just for the minus armor or for the damage aura. It's all about that swap. As soon as Batrider lassos someone, it's gonna be an instant swap to break the lasso. It's like a fail-safe mechanism to bail out whoever's in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. But one thing I would be a little worried about is just off the bat. Obviously, if you're Seed Nullus, you maybe don't want to pick up your third main in this third pickup. Maybe go for some supports, but already in my head, Lifestealer is looking quite scary. You have that Batrider bomb in him as well. You can even put him into an Invisible Wolf if you needed to. Haven't seen it been played too much, but obviously a possibility. And Vengeful Spirit and Venomancer, those are two supports that just cannot live through Lifestealer in any way. He's just so strong against them.
Wait, Lifestealer?
Mm-hmm.
Lycan. What?
Seed Nullus could pick up a Lifestealer still, because he's scary against those supports. I'm not saying they should, and they probably shouldn't, but I like that pickup myself. Super greedy though. Mito, are you there? Oh no. Looks like Mito might have dropped. Mito, are you there? Okay, it looks like everything has crashed, so it's just gonna be me and you folks, at least for a little while. At the very least, it happened in the picking screen, so that's at least something, isn't it, folks? But nonetheless, we do have a puck being picked up by Seed Nullus. Gonna be limiting, of course, the areas that Elysium Complex Gaming can really go, and that Silence should be able to do quite a bit. And once again, there's another Lifestealer bomb component if you really wanted to. I'm always for a nice Lifestealer, but already having those three mains in Batrider, Lycan, and Puck, that's gonna be quite nice just in and of itself right there. Let's see, I'll just send Mito a message. And we'll see exactly how it goes. But of course, there you go, everybody. Technology not always your best friend. Looks like both of our team speaks have crashed. Things not going perfectly, I have to say, but not the end of the world by any means. Looks like we might be able to revamp it up fairly shortly, but so don't go anywhere, folks. That's right, we'll go right there. Good thing nothing too much is happening at the moment, though not the end of the world by any means.
It seems like we found somewhere else that we can use.
Yes, everything's working. Okay, so one little hiccup, not the end of the world.
Brief.
Oh yeah, I'm there. One second.
This time, right?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
No.
I just need to
basically what I
change
said
my
was,
settings. But yeah, go ahead.
No
take it over.
problem.
Take it over, because we couldn't hear you that whole time.
Yeah. But basically what I was saying was, you cannot pick up a Lifestealer, not up against a Lycan. You get destroyed. Lifestealer gets destroyed by all physical damage based heroes, such as I mentioned about Ursa. I mentioned about Rikimaru. So you can never pick that kind of Lifestealer up against the lineup that Seed Nullus has. It just doesn't work.
No, I was saying that you could pick up Lifestealer on Seed Nullus's lineup. You could pick up Lifestealer on Seed Nullus's lineup.
Seed Nullus? They don't really need it though.
I know.
What did... They can still potentially pick up Shadow Priest. Oh, now here's a good one. Witch Doctor. That's... It's great. The cast will keep bouncing back and forth. So, yeah. I don't know. But Shadow Priest, that's a hero that's not being picked up banned. But once again, Elysium Gaming, it feels like they're going for another 4 Protect 1. Now they need to grab a really, really big late game carry. That can help them live through the pushing phase and all the ganking power from Seed Nullus. This is tough. I don't know. I always feel like Elysium Gaming, the previous game and this game, they don't, they're not very accustomed to playing something that can really get them pull through. Um, they have a better lineup for defensive purposes, as well as like they have Witch Doctor, which is a great counter initiation. So it's a Vengeful Spirit with the swap, and even the Nyx Assassin is pretty good against counter initiation. But so far they need a carry, unless they're gonna be like Power Rangers grabbing a Vengeful Spirit carry. But I don't think that's gonna happen, because if you're gonna run Vengeful Spirit as a core hero, being as a first position carry, what happens when he gets lassoed? There's nobody to swap him out in this scenario. I'm hoping to see something big, something like Naga Siren carry, and hoping that the rest of the lineup can buy him enough time so that the Naga can actually farm up. But I feel Elysium Complex Gaming, that Naga is the only hero that can help them pull through, and can actually work in a full protect 1 right now. Because if you guys are like Gyrocopter, that's just easy target for Batrider to pick you off. That's just an easy target for Puck. Whereas, say, if you have a Naga Siren, you have the illusions constantly just split pushing. They can't even find the real hero. That's where you excel. Be able to do things. Oh man, I don't even think Naga's good enough now. Now that you have the Chen, you know this push is on the way, and they have great initiation with the Puck and Batrider. And wow, this lineup is looking to be a little overwhelming so far.
Oh, definitely. And like you were saying, Elysium Gaming Complex Gaming, they're really going to need some massive, incredible carry to bring them even close to the late game and really guarantee that he gets all the farm. And for me, I love Witch Doctor. Obviously I at least hope he's going to be a main and not a support here. And just get that beautiful, nice death ward going off all day long. But Seed Nullus has a lot of really good ways to stop that, and even once he does get BKB, you do have Batrider who can get in there, throw down a lasso, and obviously it's going to get swapped immediately, but it'll be enough to cancel that Death Ward no matter what he does. So, I mean, I love the hero, just not too sure it's going to do too much for them this game. And they do have a nice defensive lineup overall, but this Mirana, not the hardest to carries by any means, so looks like Elysium Complex Gaming, they're going to have to come out just like gunning from these gates, absolutely trying to basically run Seed Nullus, just completely destroy them. But I don't know if you could even do that early on. Like, Chen is just so resilient in the early game with the creeps, and provides way too much utility early on and into the mid game. And then once that happens, if Elysium Complex Gaming basically hasn't won in the mid game, I just feel like today is over for them.
Well, the thing is, they should be running aggressive child lane, at least from Elysium Complex Gaming. And, well, against summon units and like jungle units, that's where Witch Doctor really excels. Throwing down the cask and just having it bounce around. Because if you look at the cast, the stun duration is much longer. It's 5 seconds on creeps. And that's more than enough to disable any of Chen's creeps or the Lycan Wolves. But what I'm afraid is the Howl, you know? It's not just summons that doing the damage. It's also the Howl. It gives the whole team plus 50 damage at level 5, level 4. It's very rough to deal with. Even heroes like Puck already has nice starting damage, and then you throw in a Lycan on top, and it looks like that is going to be the case. EGC, they're going to be running the aggressive trial lane, but at the same time, Yen is dodging. I don't know, is it? Because the team name is EGC, right? But if you look at the player names, it's ECG.
I know, I think it just goes hand in hand.
It just confuses me.
Yeah, I think it just goes both ways, doesn't really matter a little bit. But let's get into who's actually playing who. I'm going to take TCN because, of course, I need to fix that little flub I had before. Looks like we're going to have Lion as the Lycan. That's going to work out quite nicely, I have to say. The stand-in District 12 going to be playing this Rubik. Looks like Zissou might be getting caught out here if he does go into this jungle, but he has been pooled, oddly enough. And, ooh, baby, come on, mid-chin. That's what I want to see. We're going to have Arise playing as the Batrider. That's who I was calling Arizi before because of somebody in chat. Not going to name names. And then we're going to have W33 playing as the Puck. And of course, before any action does happen, would you like to take the rest of EGC? We have a smoke, so you got to make it quick, buddy.
Alright, so we have Gentleman playing as a support Witch Doctor, we have Tribal playing as a support Venomancer, and in this aggressive trialing we have Cookie playing as the core Vengeful Spirit. Down at mid we have Vipinarcos playing as the Missile Nyx Assassin, and at top we're gonna have Ryujin playing as the safe lane solo Mirana.
Or going mid, roaming Mirana? I can't decide yet. It doesn't seem to be, no, it looks like we're gonna have a rotation. Nyx Assassin giving up the mid to the Mirana, realizing that he is gonna have a horrible time against Batrider with all of those stacks of napalm, and now it looks like we have some big rotations coming out. You have the two supports out of ECG going in and trying to basically screw up whatever Chen can do, but one Satyr gonna be enough to basically get him out of here. Just one big club smack to Gentleman doing a lot of work. He does always have stun available, but he's quite low even right now, and it looks like another Kamehameha coming out, another Hadouken, and Tribal actually quite low. Who has faster movement speed? Satyr Tormentor does, ever so slightly, and now Chen might be getting pincered a little bit. Is indeed one stun down. Where's that second one? Is it gonna bounce? It will indeed. A happy bounce for them. Goes the way of the Centaur Conqueror, and EGC getting the first blood because of it, so things not working out too well for this Chen, but by no means is he having the worst time. He still does have this hard camp in the bot, or in the jungle there, so he shouldn't be having too bad a time. And now with all these rotations, Lycan maybe gonna get shut down a little bit. Just too much ranged coming out of EGC in this top lane for him to really deal with this early on.
I think he's doing fine. He already has. Oh, he's learned level 1 Howl and Feral Impulse. So he's actually not opting to learn the Wolves. But that being said, he's already level 2. They predicted the early game. They knew EGC was going to go aggressive trialing. They rotated the Lycan to the off lane and bought him precious time, and now he's level 2 in 2 minutes. So I would say this is a smart play overall. District 12 is actually more than, or it's level 2.5. And a support Rubik hitting level 3 this early on, that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, indeed. And as far as this bot lane is concerned, I just want your opinion on that. Puck against Nyx Assassin. Who do you think's really going to win? Obviously, he can spike Carapace in response to Illusory Orb, but then you could just phase shift as soon as you see him pop it up. So, kind of goes just tit for tat, it looks like, in the bot lane.
I feel like Puck has the upper hand, by far. If it's a mid lane, I say it's a little bit more even, but in a long lane, Puck is just going to have an easy time until Nyx Assassin hits about level 6 and has a Vendetta. But even then, it's unlikely that Nyx Assassin would be able to get solo kills. But with the phase shift, it just makes it that much easier to dominate your lane completely.
Looks like a Rise going straight for Ryujin. Nice little hit back with the Flame Break. Looks like they're trying to use this Satyr Tormentor to as much effect as humanly possible. Arrow does fly on a Rise, but he's able to polish her off, and now it looks like nobody actually able to chase him down right now. Getting quite a few tower hits on himself, and Firefly just about to end, but doesn't seem to really matter. Now it looks like we actually have Lion, who's rotated down to the bot lane, and now it's just he's basically trying to make things basically forced to deal with them, and obviously he's not going to fall to the Nyx Assassin anytime soon. He's going to have a much nicer time down here, and unless once again this tri-lane rotates around, I mean it just feels like TCN going to be getting more out of this map continually and forever.
Yep, you can't afford to constantly chase. Instead, what EGC should have done is just pressure your lane. Start taking towers. They can. They have the heroes that take the towers. They have a very strong hero, Venomancer, and then you've got the minus armor from Vengeful Spirit, and you have the Vengeance Aura on top. So, with a couple of fast, quick pulls, like we do single pulls, so you have two creep waves pushing into the tower, they can afford to take the towers very, very early. And once you take the top tower, you can start rotating around and putting more pressure on different lanes, and even smoke up the gank. So many more options by taking towers, but if they continue trying to chase down Lion, they're just going to be in so much trouble.
Oh, exactly. Now he's gotten those level 2 wolves, going to make things all that much harder for the Nyx Assassin, of course. Just because, I mean, he's not one of those heroes that can really deal with kind of constant little pressure. And now it looks like he might actually be getting caught out. This Dark Troll Summoner needs to get one net. There it is. The Spike Carapace is stunned, but doesn't seem to matter. All the illusions being used. Nice stun on 2, however, to get himself out of there. And doesn't look like they can quite polish him off in time. Just not enough deeps coming out there to finish him anytime soon. And if you have W33 up top, he's fairly safe. I mean, what can ECG really do? It looks like they're chasing him maybe a little bit too deep. Indeed, they are. Gentleman going to get hit by the tower. He's down to half HP because of it, and these are just beautiful rotations coming into TCN, I have to say. W33, this puck, I mean, he's basically entirely safe because ECG, they really rely on at least getting one of these stuns off, and if he can just phase shift the first one, has a loser orb waiting in the wings, he should be able to at least survive most gank attempts.
Okay, now we have a gank attempt at mid.
Oh, there it is, Region. But the TP's coming in. Zissou, of course, not with a very strong way to get out of there. Is moving a little bit fast. He's got those brown boots. Arrow flies. Just barely hits him. Didn't think it was, but indeed, that arrow actually, in game mechanic sense, is pretty much a circular orb of doom. And there you go, showing that its hitbox quite large comparatively to what you would normally think.
Yeah, Ryujin, that was a beautiful arrow. And what I think he needs to do to come back into this lane is constantly using Starfall. He needs to make sure the Batrider's HP isn't full. Because a full HP Batrider means a potential dive. Potential, like, Firefly into your Doom. But with the Tranquil Boost being picked up on the Batrider, it's going to be really difficult to zone him out.
Oh yeah, now with Tranquil Boots, oh man, it's just never gonna happen. We do have a little bit of pressure going onto this bot tower coming out of EGC, but I mean not really enough. And like you said, maybe a couple of single stack pulls to make it really push in there would be enough. And obviously W33 actually getting poison stung kept that HP low a little bit, and as that's happening, looks like there was a gank attempt on bot lane and a successful one at that coming out of this Mirana.
Yeah, what happened was Mirana missed the arrow, and then Lycan just kept running in circles trying to dodge the impale, but eventually the impale did land, and that secured the kill.
Still though, even while he's dead, these wolves being used very effectively to get those last hits whenever he possibly can. So a nice pickoff going the way of EGC, I have to say. You really do want to take down a Lycan, this Lion, as soon as you possibly can, and keep him low basically throughout the early and mid game. But now you actually have, oh, he's got Vendetta always available, so he shouldn't be too worried by any means, and it looks like he is not at all. He picks up actually some sentry wards, and looks like there might be a little bit of de-warding coming up, I have to say, but we'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Nyx Assassin is such a great offlaner, I mean, apart from having Impale and Spike Carapace.
Ooh, one stun on the Lion, but of course he does just get his level 6, and that's going to guarantee him getting out of there. The Shapeshift just being used as a defense, and obviously worth it, not going to be fallen. Now obviously they know Tribal's going right here. If the Batrider has a blink anytime soon, he's going to be right on top of him, and doesn't quite have it. If he did though, whew, oh well. Nonetheless, you do have Lion with some nice ladder with a huge amount as well. Looks like he's going to be stacking up everything, and when it comes right down to it, if we look at the gold graph, TCN is indeed leading despite being behind in kills, and as far as experience, doing the same. Not a drastic lead by any means, 8 minutes in, but still, nonetheless, getting more out of this map right now, and with less kills. I'm just going to be a little bit scared once all of their main heroes get that level 6 and get a few of those core items to really make their team fight come online.
Yep, and just want to quickly touch up on what I was saying before. Nyx Assassin, the last thing that makes him a great offlaner is having the second highest base HP regen in the game, right after Axe. Nyx Assassin has 2.5 HP regen per second, so that's pretty incredible. Like, it's like having almost a ring of regen, and now he's down at bottom.
Oh yeah,
looking to pick off Lion.
There's that
again.
Vendetta,
and this time he doesn't have the ulti.
Oh, he's gonna find District 12 though. That is a lot of damage. Carapace. There it is, or I should say Impale does indeed land. Nothing that he can do quite yet. Lion, though, all over him. Does have Spike Carapace still available to stun. You have a Mirana, though, coming in. And if Ryujin lands this arrow, Lion needs to just be so careful here. His Shapeshift will be available just in time to get out of any Venomancer slows or anything like that. But still, ECG or EGC, whichever you want to call them, they do seem to be doing a quite nice job right now of just finding kills, trying to keep
Oh
the
dear.
pressure onto Lion in the bot lane as well, and now Arise, he has smoked up, trying to still hide that Blink Dagger. Some pings coming out though, they know something is up, they need to. And it doesn't look like they've completely backed off, and there it is, gets the blink, of course, no swap, but of course the spike carapace will be enough, and there it is, Gentleman can't quite get the death ward off, not quite level 6 yet, and it looks like Cookie gonna fall. Gentleman doesn't want to break that coil, doesn't quite, it doesn't matter though, we have Tribal up here, W33 in a bit of trouble now, Loser Orb to get away and will be able to. Looks like he does still quite slowed. Ooh, that Impale just off of its mark ever so slightly. And now with that, it looks like we do have this Witch Doctor going to be falling. The casks still doing their job, but still, when everything is said and done, actually TCN, I want to say, coming out a little bit more in an advantage there. Not to mention Lion getting a lot of damage onto this bot tower as well, forcing a TP now, coming out of this Vengeful, and so overall, I want to say TCN coming out ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate that a lot of the EGC players miss his skills. Nyx Assassin misses Impale, Mirana missing the arrow, and these are the kind of skills that you need good setup for. Maybe not so much Nyx Assassin, but Mirana arrows generally you want to have a good setup stun, which is in this case the Vengeful Spirit, but he got targeted first in the team fights, and without the setup stuns, those follow-ups are just so difficult to land.
Oh yeah, Zissou actually still playing very, I mean, he's just so confident, looks like, in this jungle right now. Needs to be a little bit careful, obviously. They didn't really see where Nyx Assassin was. Now Rubik, what have you stolen? Gets a leap, not the spell he really wants. Arise can't quite find him with that blink and Flaming Lasso, of course, that point being just canceled a little bit. Casks flies, but of course the leap to make sure it doesn't continue to bounce. And now Gentleman in a bit of trouble. There's Arise finding him. An easy pick off for these two heroes. Arrow flies, doesn't land on anybody. And now with that, TCN, it just looks like they're going to be having a very nice time for the rest of this game that with these pickoffs that they can get. If any single person at EGC basically happens to be out of position, I feel like that Batrider is just going to capitalize on it tremendously.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So now that Lycan has the Vlads, EGC need to be very conscious of the Roshan. They
Double
need to
damage
constantly check
Vendetta.
it.
Cass goes down along with we have Malefice on. That's not Malefice. What is that? Maledict. There it is. Of course.
Maledict.
Yeah, forgot it for a second. The Chen does fall, but of course Lion popping that ult just to make sure that no funniness happens. Ooh, sorry. Whew. I haven't screwed up an ability name in a while. I have not been playing as much Dota as I should.
Oh, you gotta get back in the game. So much is happening as of late. New strats, new heroes. Apparently for, what's it, Dream League, there's only 8 heroes that haven't been played. And come on, we have over 100 different heroes in Dota 2. And that being said, it's just ridiculous, you know? It's like, you think about, wow, only 8 heroes haven't been picked or banned? That's crazy, man.
That is a little ridiculous, I gotta say. But we'll see. Ooh, it looks like they are
Wonderful.
continuing up that pressure on Lion. Not too sure if it's worth 5 humans, though. Like, 5 whole bodies, everybody going down. He doesn't have shapeshift, so he needs to be very careful here. Needs to be scouting out with these wolves. Not too sure why he isn't. Maybe being a little bit too, but at the very least, there he does use them. Gonna be able to scout these people out. Arrow flies, lands right on him. Lion in a heap of trouble. Gonna be falling here. There's nothing that he can do. Looks like they are able to obviously get him in, but I don't know, 5 heroes just to take down one Lion? Not too sure it's worth it. They're gonna lose this this mid tier 1 for it as well. Looks like W33 trying his best to get some push going on in the top lane, and I don't know, what do you think? Obviously a good pick off taking out this Lycan, and if you can keep the pressure on him early, he does have a bit of a harder time, but still, think it's worth 5 heroes rotating?
Oh, they did take a tower, so it's not the biggest loss. If they can continue defending the top tier 1 towers and eventually get kills, then it would be worth it. But as of now, they're definitely behind. Drums just being picked up by the Vengeful Spirit. That as a core hero, right? Vengeful Spirit needs more items. You know, if you personally, like, I just want to throw it out there. This might sound crazy to some people, but if you're gonna have a carry Vengeful Spirit, right? I would rather you have a carry Sand King. Senking can at least flash farm, you know, and you can be a couple of items ahead of your opponent. And having that epicenter in team fights it's just great, you know. So why not run a carry Senking instead? With like, even if you want the old school Radiance or even like Battle Fury, I don't know. Like, I would say carry Senking. It's a hero that relies on levels and like item advantages to carry, and like it kind of applies in the same sense as a Vengeful Spirit. And now EGC, while they lose the top tier 1, manages to pick up a Roshan of their own. And this is a great pickup. Hopefully it's just enough to allow them to start applying more aggression with the Aegis on top.
I mean, I guess I hope so, and like I really like the Roshan pickup coming out of EGC right there, because whenever you're up against a Lycan, he's just one of those heroes where you go, okay, so that team that has Lycan, they're gonna be on Rosh. They're gonna want Rosh whenever they possibly can. And Lion now getting towers, and this is the thing about Lycan, is even if you do shut him down in the early game, if he goes uncontested in a lane for, you know, 1 minute, he's gonna get a lot of damage on that tower. He's gonna push in tremendously, and if the Lycan, even at about 20 minutes, only has maybe a Vlad's and a Necro Book to his name, that's still definitely enough to basically push into any single tower all day long. And now it just looks like the push coming into TCN, maybe too much for EGC to handle right now. You have this push going on up top. It looks like Vipinako's trying his very best. Don't know if he's going to have the burst, but the arrow does fly. But this creep getting in the way in the last second, and because of that, we have Batrider getting sent home. Chen able to get out of there just in time. No Impale available right then. And while that's happening, the mobility coming out of TCN right now, working nicely for them. You have Lion in the bot just basically farming up continuously, and not only that, I mean, they're pressuring towers, going wherever they can, and now it looks like Batrider trying to find anybody he can. Might be looking for a Vipinakos, does indeed get him the Force Staff, able to get him out of there just in time, and popping that Aegis immediately. It looks like no Death Ward, able to go for its full effect right there. District 12, well, he is just dead to rights, but nonetheless, I mean, you have only losing a Rubik, not the worst pick-off by any means, and as you have that, actually Arise in a bit of trouble. They decide to get off of that, however, because you have Lion just doing way too much push in the bot lane.
Yep. And now, whoa, that is a lot of gold saved up from Lion. Has just so much on him. And Necrobooks are just gonna start to come in, and it's gonna prove to be a lot of trouble.
Oh, beautiful coil onto Ryujin, can't do a single thing. Cookie, though, is able to TP out of there, and it looks like Ryujin just popping that coil with this leap, obviously, the extra speed coming out of that, gonna be helping him a whole lot. Has one arrow left to try and get him out of something. Uses the Starfall, nice little phase shift, and now actually Puck in a bit of trouble, doesn't actually pan out that way. However, as that's happening, Lion in a bit of trouble himself. Where's that Impale? Is able to dodge it. Gonna be able to get out of this one. There's the casks, but of course, no creep wave to bounce it. Lucky enough for Lion, he is gonna get out of here, and now it looks like we have some rotations. Lion, though, he should just be going home. He doesn't have any mana whatsoever. Arise, though, is going to be able to find a Gentleman. Not enough mana for a ward by any means. Maybe Lion going to pick up a kill, and it will indeed go his way. So 3,600 gold now on him. That is a Necro Book and then some.
Yeah, not too far from a Necrobook 2 as well.
I mean, at this point in the game, you have TCN, which, at least to me, and especially if we look at this gold graph, TCN leading the gold and experience graph, not too drastically by any means, but still pretty substantial. And I just don't exactly know what EGC can really do. You have a lot of utility items coming out of them right now. You actually have Vengeful Spirit with a Blink Dagger. You have Nyx Assassin with a Blink Dagger as well. Mirana, though, doesn't have really too much, has drums, and actually Vengeful Spirit and Mirana both have drums. Not too sure how I feel about that.
Oh.
But just gonna say that I'm just not too sure what EGC can really do right now. What do you feel that they can do, if anything?
Did you see that huge whiff from the puck?
I saw a
The
Dream Coil with nothing attached to it. Oh, we now have an
Yeah.
engagement though, however, and so Cookie getting in there maybe a bit too far forward and getting immediately lassoed up to this high ground. Can always swap somebody, doesn't seem to matter, but Rubik with a stolen casks working out quite nicely, stunning the whole team. Tribal incredibly low, Lycan Wolves all over him, gonna be able to clean up here. These supports just way too low in HP. Looks like we have a flame break, isn't gonna land, however. And he is just able to get out of that sentry vision. They know he's around here. They do indeed see him because of this one. And with that, EGC absolutely melting to TCN's lineup. Some nice steals coming out of the Rubik there. I saw a cask flying, going very nicely, and now it looks like Ryujin in a bit of trouble. No lasso available. Flame break to get him back. The leap might be able to just save him, but you obviously do have this blink dagger going around. However, you do have a gem on that Mirana going the way of Batrider, and that is a huge pickoff for TCN now. They always have a gem pretty much in every team fight, and that's a lot of the engagement the engagement potential of EGC just out the window now.
They don't even need a gem. Lycan is so close to that next 3. Yeah, I don't agree with the EGC lineup. Well, not the lineup itself, but
Batrider founds a gentleman, and with 2 Centaur Stomps going their way, is able to pick him off before he can do anything. But Arise, maybe in a... Not too sure what he was doing there, maybe a bit too ballsy. Did he just give back the gem? He did indeed, so not the best use of his time, I feel like. And not a good trade by any means.
Vengeful Spirit could have saved the Witch Doctor. Swap places and then stun with the Batrider. They didn't have to give away any kills right there. In terms of items though, I think not the greatest pickups. Vengeful Spirit with the Blink Dagger, sure. Now you have more and more ganking power, but that's all you have. And it will get to the point where they can only kill supports. You can't kill any of these core heroes. You can't kill the Puck. You can't kill the Lycan.
We have an engagement, and that's, in fact, 2 on him, doing quite a bit. He is stunned, but there it is. You can't kill him, and now with that small amount of lifesteal coming out, he is just so close. He's still running in, will fall, actually, to that scream of the Vengeful Spirit, but now basically all these heroes in a bit of trouble because of these Necronomicon units. Who is going to eat this big damage coming out of the Warrior as well? It will go the way of Cookie, so getting hurt quite a bit doesn't seem to matter, but I guess with a lot of rotations they can still kill a Lycan, but that is going to get even harder the longer this goes. And like you're saying, Cookie, yeah, Blink Dagger gives you some good utility, but I'm just worried that EGC won't have enough damage getting into about the 25-26 minute mark.
Yeah, that's the main worry. Look at it. Every time they want to kill the Lycan, they need to expend, say, 4 to 5 heroes to pick him off. And while that's happening, what are TCN gonna be doing? If they're not gonna help, they're gonna farm up, and they're gonna get harder and harder to kill. And it's just a vicious cycle where you need to put in more and more heroes. You need to invest more and more into getting hero kills, into like picking off one hero.
Oh yeah, Vipinakos though doing a lot of work for his team, able to find a Batrider in the jungle. Maybe not the best place to be, obviously, at this point in the game when you know EGC is running as 5 or at the very least 4, and now it looks like Ryujin getting shot by the tower a little bit. We do have a push going into the mid, but Puck with a beautiful silence on 3, or was that 4? It was indeed. Didn't even have to use a coil. Looks like Lion getting stunned tremendously. Now we do have Maledict on him as well, absolutely melting, couldn't even get Necronomicons down, and now it looks like Vipinakos, he is running for his life. Another nice silence, but now it just looks like TCN going in solos, not working out the way they really wanted to, and EGC able to bring it back, it looks like. Obviously you don't have Chen there, but that's not really, you don't need him in team fights. He does have a mech, might have changed things and let Lion actually get those Necros out, but still, EGC with some beautiful team fight there, really stopping everything they could, and now the Batrider, not too sure they're actually ever going to find him, and he is just able to take Cookie out and over. Looks like he's going to be able to polish her off, will indeed, and that is a nice pick off. Arrow flies, doesn't find him, however. He's just deciding where to go. Stuck up here, now all the way down here as well, and looks like this is going to be not all dead at the same time, but that is basically a team wipe for TCN. Looks like Chen now in a bit of trouble. Or maybe not, hiding out, just hiding in here. He's got all the creeps in the world, and Tribal blocking himself in with that Plague Ward, working out very poorly for him. Now you have District 12 doing whatever he can. The Casks almost able to polish everybody up. Gentleman now running away from these creeps. He's not a support that can deal with this very well. Doesn't have TPs available, and it looks like the tower might be able to polish him off. Will the Voodoo Restoration be enough? Not against a puck, it won't be, and that's going to be able to polish him off right there.
Yeah, so ultimately, it feels like, wow, I'm pretty amazed at how EGC took that fight. I thought they were so far behind, and I thought for a while I didn't think they have a chance in this game. But now they've clawed their way back instead. TCN are the ones who haven't really kept up the pressure. They have what they need to go for that big push. They have the Chen summons, they have the mech, the Vlads.
Oh, beautiful synergy up top. Swap into Marana Arrow. Lion, nothing he can do here. And that was a beautiful bit of play. It looks like Chen just feeding up these creeps now as well. Not too sure why he's sending them in. Lion long gone, dead for a very long time. Sent, nice stun on 4. But of course, just feeding it up. And now the Alpha Wolf fallen as well. There goes Chen's army. Now he is basically out of commission in this match for another two minutes or so just to rebuild all those folks.
Wow, that mid fight was such a turning point for the game. But you know the kill at top where you said there was nothing to like him to do? My question is, what is he doing up there all by himself? It was a very questionable play. Ganking potential of EGC. They have Blink Dagger on all the core heroes they need, and there's just so much mobility. If they pull off the combos, they can pick off one hero without any issue. And after that mid-team fight, the tables have turned. Like, it's surprising as it is, but it really has. EGC, the damage dealers are starting to come online. Vengeful Spirit is very close to that Manta style, and Mirano even manages to pick up a Yasha. So those right clicks we're looking for, they are starting to show. Whereas TCN, now you're down to a point where Puck is still relatively far from the Blink Dagger. I mean, not Blink Dagger, the Sheep Stick. And Lycan, for now, he's going to be the sole DPS for the team. Now, you're Dagon on top for the next Assassin, so this is crazy. But now, I feel like ECG, they're the ones with the upper hand, and now they have full control of the game. With the kind of ganking lineup they have, TCN, they have to play as 5. There's no other ways around it. Split pushing will no longer work with so much blink initiation.
Oh yeah, and of course the nice combos that can come out of EGC's lineup, gonna be way too much to handle. Lion, once again, really far forward, and of course, oh, no swap coming out to save him immediately. Lion just use that Necro as soon as he possibly can. There he is, finally does pop it, and now this team fight going the way of TCN, guaranteed. Chen obviously there, now Death Ward being used. Looks like, yeah, no stuns available to actually take him out. Doesn't seem to matter too much, and now everything going the way of TCN, so there you have it. You say they need to take it as 5, and that's exactly what they do. They get a 5-man team wipe, and they're gonna get a Roche, maybe even a tower for how fast this thing will fall.
Dude, what is with this game? I feel like... Oh man, I feel like I'm being smacked around in the face. It's like every time I say a team has a lead, they end up losing a team fight. And every time it's a 5-man wipe. What is going on?
You know what, as well, for me, if that Vengeful Spirit had been completely on point and had the fastest fingers, got rid of that Bat Rider blinking in and taken care of that Mirana immediately and swapped the Bat Rider, I think that fight would have gone completely differently. You would have had TCN trying to fight up onto the high ground and not the other way around, and it was just really rough for EGC right there.
Yeah, it feels like the Vengeful Spirit swaps have always been a little off. I don't know if you agree. Maybe it's just me. But there are multiple times where he could use it to save his teammates. It's funny enough, being a carry Vengeful Spirit, he hasn't been subject to the lasso that often. It just feels like if he's in the back most of the time, he can potentially save lives.
I think there's that one fear though, when you're the carry, obviously, you really don't want to die ever. And if you're carry Vengeful Spirit, usually, at least in my experience, when you do opt to get that swap, you feel like you're making yourself get out of position, and you're basically trading your life for usually your carries, and if you're that person, then a lot of the times I feel like there's just this reservation to avoid doing that. Arrow flies does indeed land on W33, still getting pickoffs. I mean, Vipinako's doing a huge amount of work, and the sentry's just not coming down too much, only in choke points now. So Nyx Assassin still finding some nice kills, and with the Dagon can pretty much take anybody, it feels like, on TCN. Maybe, possibly not Lion if he's at full HP, but everybody else in a bit of trouble. Batrider quite tanky as well, but still 3 out of 5, not bad.
Pickoffs is always great for EGC. This particular game, they pretty much just need to constantly find pickoffs, because that's what they're good at. Apparently, in a full-on 5-on-5 clash, they will be at disadvantage, as we saw in the Roche Pit fight. Roche Pit being a clustered area, it's just so good for the puck to land the entire combo. And yeah, as soon as Batrider grabs someone, you're pretty much forcing the opponent to clump up to chase after you to save whoever's being caught. And yeah, when those things happen, they just don't seem to be able to tank the full-on damage.
Yeah, not so much. Now Puck, he's picked up a Lincoln Sphere, and for me, this isn't even like, oh, Puck's gonna have a very good time now, he doesn't need to worry. He just needs to slap this onto Lion, or even just slap it onto Batrider, and now what can they really do to stop Batrider from taking people away and really commanding the fight and deciding when they happen? If you have a Lincoln Sphere on the Batrider, at the very least the buff on him, all you can really do is swap him, and that's obviously broken because he just needs to pop that BKB and make something happen. So it just feels like he can take this however they want. Arrow flies, doesn't land, and now there he's going, taking away whoever he can find, and of course Cookie dead immediately. And this is that 5-on-5 team fight. There's just nothing EGC can do. The only one who's been hurt at all is Rubik so far. Now you have Lion chasing after whoever he can find. Blink Dagger just coming off a cooldown for Vipinakos. He is able to get out of there, and it looks like Ryujin just able to get out of there as well. Arrow flies in the weirdest of ways. Doesn't seem to really matter, but they didn't even need to use that Lincoln's, because as long as you have Batrider taking Venge first, there's just nothing that EGC can do.
Holy crap, look at it. They're going through the backdoor regen just now, and the tier 3 tower was just melting. I'm not sure if Lycan alone can take down a tier 3 with backdoor regen. Be interesting to look into. I know Tiny can.
I'm sure with the right
Lycan
items he
can
could.
as well. Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but yeah.
And it looks like
It'll
they're
be
going
funny if it's
straight
whole
for the
team.
throat, actually. Like, they just don't even care about getting mega creeps. They know they have an advantage in the 5-player teams. Nice little puck blink in. Gentleman in a heap of trouble. EGC just not wanting to give up quite yet. And now with that, looks like Puck able to find a few kills. Not too bad. Swap now. District 12 in a bit of trouble. But obviously, as that's happening, you have these pushing heroes going in. Lion taking these 2 tier 4s. He doesn't even want to kill these heroes. He's popping his ult, just trying to make sure that he can take down this Ancient. As that's happening, W33 gets a nice coil on 2, and now it looks like Cookie finally almost coming into his own, needs to get out of here, and Lion just man-moding onto this Ancient, and that's going to be GG, and with that, TCN going to be going to the finals in ESPL Weekly Series number 7.
Wow, so a lot of unexpected turn of events. It was pretty back and forth this game, and yeah, I'm glad to see EGC pull up a lineup like this. Very unconventional. It almost worked for them, but unfortunately.
I don't know. Once again, for me, it feels like maybe EGC with not the wisest of draft picks, and at least in my opinion, a disadvantage from the draft phase onwards. And I think that's really kind of what cinched or was the difference between these two teams in this game for me. Because EGC, they had some pretty beautiful execution sometimes, some nice use of skills, and some good synergy. But overall, I just always felt that their lineup was a little bit weaker, a little bit less well thought out compared to TCN's.
It also feels like they couldn't really connect a lot of skills together. For example, a lot of times you might see a Nyx Assassin initiation, but the Mirana arrow was being shot beforehand. It feels like the synergy is not quite there yet, but this is a team I feel with a lot of potentials. Hopefully we'll see more of them in the future.
Oh yeah. But nonetheless, thank you everybody for tuning in. I've been Briefcase, bringing you this game along with my lovely co-caster Mito. And don't go anywhere, we'll be having the second semifinals coming up in none too long a time. And I believe that's Wild Witch Doctors versus who is that last one?
For Love International.
That's right, For Love International. Have you seen For Love actually play?
Yes, of course. We've seen him play a couple of times.
All right.
I mean, the first question that comes to mind is like, hey, For Love, are they also sponsored by mainland Chinese For Love? And apparently they are.
Oh, cool. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about that during the break. I'm not quite sure what that is. But nonetheless, thank you everybody for tuning in. Don't go anywhere, or if you do, come back. We'll be having some more good Dota coming up later on in the day.